Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to our weekly installments of This Week in the NCAC. On this week's show, we'll look at action from around the North Coast Athletic Conference for the week ending on Monday, September the 3rd. First, we want to begin this week's show by welcoming all of our student athletes, coaches, administrators, and fans to the 29th season of competition in the North Coast Athletic Conference. To open this week's show, we'll take a look at action from across the gridiron over the weekend. 3 league squads earned victories, highlighted by Allegheny's dramatic 17-14 come-from-behind victory over Worcester in a non-conference contest between NCAC foes. Oberlin opened its season with a victory for the 3rd year in a row with a 33-3 triumph over Earlham. Senior cornerback David Kalgren led the Oberlin defensive unit that forced 6 turnovers by returning 2 interceptions for touchdowns. In addition, sophomore kicker Erickson Andrews nailed a school record 4 field goals, while junior running back Moses Richardson rushed for a career-high 142 yards and 1 score, while also hauling in 4 receptions for 38 yards. Kalgren was named the NCAC Defensive Player of the Week for his efforts. With the Yeomen leading 9-0 late in the second quarter, Kalgren picked off a pass and scampered into the end zone to give Oberlin a 15-0 halftime advantage. The senior then struck again midway through the third quarter as he tallied his second pick 6 of the contest to push the Yeomen lead to 22-0. Wittenberg captured the final league victory of the weekend with a 44-17 win over Capital. Junior quarterback Reed Florence was crowned the league's Offensive Player of the Week after completing 17 of 30 pass attempts for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first career start under center. Florence also added 2 rushing touchdowns for the Tigers in a 27-point victory over the Crusaders. Non-conference football matchups continue this weekend, including a non-league contest between Ohio Wesleyan and Denison in Granville on Saturday night. North Coast cross-country squads welcomed in the 2012 season with a successful weekend as 5 league squads captured event victories. The Allegheny men's squad was victorious over Case at the annual Bill Sudick Classic. Both Denison teams earned the top spot at the Franklin Grizzly College Invitational. Wabash took home the team title at the 50th annual Hokum Karam in Crawfordsville, and the Wittenberg men's squad captured the team title in the intercollegiate division at the Dayton Flyer 5K Challenge. In addition to the 5 team titles, 9 individual runners also earned event titles over the weekend. Allegheny senior Bobby Over won the individual title at the Bill Sudick Classic with a time of 19:43 over the 6,000-meter course. The DePaul women's duo of Hope Jordan and Heather O'Brien teamed up to win the overall title at the Wabash Hokum Karam with a time of 22:58. Oberlin sophomore Carrie Lyons won the women's 4K race at the Worcester Invitational with a time of 15:08.90, while her teammate and classmate Lindsay Neal also crossed first in the women's 5K race at Worcester with a time of 19:51.20. One Yeoman also climbed the podium at Worcester as sophomore Leo Harrington claimed the top spot in the men's 5K with a time of 16:57.40. At the Kenyon Tri-Meet, Lord's freshman Sam Lagasse won the men's individual title with a time of 16:07.06 on the 5K course, while ladies junior Jenna Willett earned the women's crown with a time of 15:06.93 over the 4,000-meter course. And the final individual cross-country title of the weekend went to Wittenberg junior Jacob Kuntz, who won the men's intercollegiate division race at the Dayton 5K Challenge with a time of 16:37. NCAC Runner of the Week accolades for the opening week of the 2012 season went to Allegheny's Bobby Over on the men's side and Oberlin's Lindsay Neal on the women's side. 8 of the 10 NCAC cross-country squads will be back in action this weekend, with only Denison and Wabash sitting idle. Let's now shift our attention to the volleyball court, where NCAC squads opened the season strong after posting a record of 21-14 against non-conference opponents. Following last weekend's action, Denison and Wittenberg both maintain unblemished records, while Ohio Wesleyan and Hiram both boast marks of 3-1. Ohio Wesleyan and Oberlin were both impressive on the opening weekend of the season as the Yeowomen doubled their win total from all of 2011 after going 2-2 at the St. Vincent tournament, while the Battling Bishops also surpassed their win total from a year ago after posting a 3-1 mark at the OWU Invitational. The Battling Bishops stormed out to a 3-0 record for the first time since the 2006 season after knocking off Earlham, Wilmington, and Manchester all in straight sets before dropping the final match of the invite against Grove City. OWU was led by senior Megan Weissenberger, who amassed 39 kills, 39 digs, 9 service aces, and 4 total blocks in 13 sets over the weekend. Weissenberger was named the NCAC Volleyball Player of the Week for her efforts. NCAC volleyball squads will continue non-conference action this weekend with numerous teams competing in early season tournaments. And now let's shift our attention to the pitch and break down some of the soccer action from around the league on the opening weekend. The Worcester women's squad opened the season with a perfect 2-0 mark after earning wins against Marywood 1-0 and Penn State Harrisburg 5-0. The Wittenberg women's squad also remains perfect at 1-0 after defeating Mount St. Joseph 6-0 in a match that was eventually halted after 2 separate attempts to play due to lightning in the area. After the first weekend of play, Hiram's Ernestina Zappa leads the league in points with 5 after scoring 2 goals and dishing out 1 assist, while Worcester's Erica Kay and Hiram's Samantha Zupanik are tied for second with 4 points each after each netted 2 goals over the weekend. Kay did take home the Women's Soccer Player of the Week accolades after scoring the Scots' lone goal in the victory over Marywood and adding an insurance goal in the victory over PSU Harrisburg. Kay, who missed nearly half of last season due to injury, doubled her goal total from a year ago on just the first weekend of the 2012 season. It was also an extremely successful weekend for the NCAC men's soccer squads, as all 10 teams combined for an overall record of 14-4-2 against non-league opponents. 5 squads posted perfect 2-0 marks over the weekend, including Allegheny, DePaul, Hiram, Oberlin, and Wittenberg, while Denison also remains without a loss after going 1-0-1. The DePaul men's squad snapped 20th-ranked Hope's 354-day streak of not allowing 3 goals in a single match with a 3-2 double overtime triumph over the Dutchmen at the Robbie Dreyer Memorial Classic on Friday. The Tigers also added a 5-0 win over Monmouth at the event on Saturday. DPU junior George Elliott was named the NCAC Player of the Week after netting the game winner in double overtime to knock off Hope. Elliott settled a blocked cross 10 yards from the left post and chipped the ball over a diving Flying Dutchman keeper for the game winner. Allegheny and Hiram both posted a pair of wins apiece over Wilmington and LaRoche at the Allegheny Classic. The Gators defeated LaRoche 3-1 and Wilmington 3-0, while Hiram took down LaRoche 5-2 and Wilmington 4-1. Allegheny's Cameron Olson and Hiram's Andy Harding shared co-MVP honors at the event after leading their teams to unblemished records. Non-conference matchups continue in the coming week, while the first NCAC contest of the season is slated for September 15th when Denison travels to DePaul. And finally, we'll wrap up this week's show by analyzing NCAC field hockey action from last weekend. Denison and Oberlin both jumped out to hot starts, as the Yeowomen downed Bethany 7-2 in the head coaching debut of Anna Baith, and Denison rolled to a 2-0 victory over Hendricks in their lid lifter on Friday. DePaul racked up a 1-1 record after the first weekend of play after defeating Bridgewater 5-3 and narrowly falling to number 7 Lynchburg 3-2. DPU senior Margaret Ellis took home Player of the Week honors after netting 3 goals in the 2 games combined. With her 3 tallies this weekend, Ellis is now tied for 4th on the all-time goals list at DePaul with 51. NCAC League action will begin this week for every squad but Ohio Wesleyan. On Wednesday, Worcester hosts Denison and DePaul entertains Wittenberg, and on Saturday, Oberlin travels to Denison while Earlham hosts Kenyon. Fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can log on to our website at www.northcoast.org. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. For the entire conference staff, I'm Brett Billhart, and thanks for watching.